Today we shall be moving around the Belgaum district of the state of Karnataka in India. Today we shall be going to a place near Kittur. It is called Degulhalli. Degulhalli is a very small village. This floral pattern is on the roof of an unknown temple in a village called Degulhalli, which is in the Belgaum district of the state of Karnataka. This village Degulhalli is 7 kilometers from Kittur, 50 kilometers from Belgaum, and 40 kilometers from Dharwad. This area at some stage of time was under the Goa Kadambas. This is the overall view of the temple. It is surrounded by beautiful green trees on all sides. This place has another village called Belgaum, which is more popular. Belgaum has a temple called the Kamla Narayan temple, which is comparatively a well-known temple as compared to the temple where we shall be going. This is the Degulhalli village. Very few people are aware of this temple. This temple is known as Kalgudi. This area was under the rule of the Kadambas of Goa, who were the feudatory rulers of the Kalyani Chalukyas. The Kadambas ruled Goa from the 10th to the 14th century AD. The Goa Kadambas were the scions of the early Banvasi Kadamba dynasty, who ruled from the 4th century AD to the early 6th century AD in the southern part of Karnataka. In the first half of the 10th century, Goa was a part of the southern Konkan while in possession of the Silahara rulers. The appointment of governors of the Rashtrakutas of Malkhed, perhaps with the help of Sahasradeva, made Kalyani Chalukyas the rulers of this area. The contribution of Kadambas to the architectural heritage of this region is very worthy of recognition. This is a lesser known temple which we can see in front of us. The temple apparently doesn't have any name. If you search on Google, not much data about this temple is available. This is a single kuta or a single shrine of we can see a Shivalinga inside. As we move towards the temple, comparatively new mandap with Nandiji can be seen. This Nandi statue is a very beautiful statue made out of a black stone. It sits just outside the main gate of the Shiva temple. This statue is very old. However, the mandap in which earlier Nandiji was there probably got broken. We can see that the pillars are comparatively new. It is also possible that this Nandi mandap was originally not a part of this temple complex. We shall never be able to know about this. Very few people come here. In fact, there is not much data about this temple available in the public domain. If you do a Google search or even if you try to go to YouTube, I could not find any videos of this particular temple. Just beside the statue of Nandi, we can find a broken statue of Lord Ganesha. The head of Lord Ganesha was lying separately besides the body. As we can see, the headgear is very beautiful. This is the look of the temple from the main entrance. We shall be entering the temple by going through the Nandi Mandapa. It is obvious that maintenance of this temple is not there. The wild vegetation is a proof of that. However, This temple gives a very beautiful look. It has a sloping roof all around it, and then we can see multiple pillars. The outer wall is not much carved, not many carvings were found there. At the center of the mandap we find a circle, four huge pillars. One of the pillars on the right side, the base, we can see some old inscriptions. The stones have been painted with lime at some stage of time, and hence the beautiful look is lost. We can find a seating area all around the three sides of the temple with many pillars starting from the seating area up to the roof. This is the area probably where the visitors and the devotees would be sitting before going and praying to the Lord Shiva. We found four niches. This is the front niche. There is a mini edicule. Presently it is empty. However, at some stage of time, this niche would have definitely carried the image of some god or deity. Presently it is being used to store common material. This is another niche. Here we can see a big stone of some matrikas which is totally broken. This is another mini edicule with a vacant space. We found a lot of saris here. Probably they were there to, the devotees would have brought them to be offered to the deity here. In this niche we find the image of some yogi or a sadhu. This is definitely a very comparatively new sculpture, as the stone carving and the nature of the stone is not akin to the other construction. We can see beads here. This is a typical Naga sadhu which has been made here. At the bottom there are two other sadhus or devotees. The statue is very beautifully carved. The nails of the toe can be seen very clearly. This is the roof of the temple. The roof of the temple had very beautiful carvings. Floral patterns were there on all various portions of the roof. Here we can see beautifully carved floral patterns are there with multiple layers. None of the floral pattern is repeated. All the floral patterns are different. A lot of effort has gone in making these floral patterns. All around the roof we found these patterns. Luckily not much damage is there to these floral patterns. These type of patterns we have found to be very common in the temples of the Kadambas, particularly at Banvasi, at Halasi, at Hangal, and even at Baligavi. This is another beautiful floral pattern on the roof of the temple. As we move further, an attempt has been made to cover all the floral patterns, since every pattern was totally different. Light is very limited, and hence the quality of the video may not be to the liking of the viewers. This particular pattern is marvelous, stupendous. I couldn't believe that this is made up of stone. It looks like as if it has been made in wood. Even the texture and the color appears wooden. I do not know what technology the ancient people had used to create this marvelous carving. You can see the rhombus. This rhombus is, or the square is also made up of stone. However, it gives the appearance of wood, a wood on which no paint has been used, no varnish has been used. This particular panel on the roof was one of the most beautiful panels we found. This is the entrance of the Antarala. We can see some floral patterns here. The door frame is not much carved. We did find some dwarpalas at the bottom. It had a latticed window, but the size of the lattice window was very small. At the top, we found an image. This image is not of Gajalakshmi. This is a different type of image. This image is normally not found on the temples. Most of the temples which we visited, we found the image of Gajalakshmi. This is Antarala, plain walls, very dark. In front of us is the Shivalinga. The inside of the Garbhagriha was extremely dark. Very little light was there, almost pitch dark. These are the walls of the Garbhagriha. You can see some deities at the bottom. In order to show the visitors, I've tried to increase the brightness so that at least something is visible. Here we can see the beautiful Shivalinga. This Shivalinga is in a cylindrical form. That is very typical of the Kadamba dynasty. This is a look of the main mandap from the Antarala. At the entrance, we can see a beautifully carved pattern of different flowers and geometrical pattern also. A part of it has got damaged over a period of time. This is the overall view of the mandap. We can see the seating area on all the sides. We can see Lord Nandi waiting for Lord Shiva in the front. There are columns on the inside as well as the outside. The columns of the outer side are comparatively smaller because of the sloping roof. As you can see, there is no habitation anywhere near this temple. Now we shall be taking a parikrama or the circumambulation. We will circumambulate this temple so as to see the various carvings on the walls. These are the smaller pillars at the periphery which is supporting the sloping roof. Some of the columns are comparatively new. ASI has done a good job in trying to maintain this temple. This is one of the wall panels where we can see a lady. We found very few carvings, 4-5 carvings only on the entire 4 sides of the walls of the temple. And these were not very intricate, these were ordinary carvings. Now we are going towards the back side of the temple. There are no carvings on the outer walls on the back side. There were huge green fields all around this place and almost no habitation could be seen. This is another side of the temple. Let's try to take a round of this temple slowly. This area was very peaceful. No, we couldn't find a single human being here. All green, cool. Not much details about this temple are available in public domain. We tried to get some data, but nothing was available. There's a much more famous temple called the Kamla Narayan temple, just 2.5 kilometers away from this place at a village called Belgaum. However, at this village called Degulhalli, this is almost an obscure and an unknown area. This is the look of the walls. We can find a mini edicule on one side. This is a view from another angle. In the front is the Garbhagriha, and on the extreme side we find the mandap with a sloping roof. This temple is made on a high elevated ground, which is typical of the construction of the Kadamba dynasty. This temple is probably made during the reign of the Goa Kadambas who ruled this region. This is the view from the back side. We can see a mini edicule, and the image is lost. Although the more famous temple, Kamla Narayan temple, is just 2.5 kilometers from this temple, we did not find any similarity between the Kamla Narayan temple at Devghar and this particular temple at Degulhalli. More maintenance is required. Structurally, this temple is safe. However, regular maintenance is not there. Let us try to go in the center of the mandap and rotate the camera by 180 degrees to see the overall look and feel of this temple. Here we can see a column. The base of the column has some inscriptions in the local language. The script is probably the old script called Kannada. I am not very sure, but this inscription is not very beautiful as compared to the various other inscriptions we have found. However, this is a very atypical stone pillar with a very different type of carving. We can see multiple beads have been made all around. Every part of this pillar is decorated very beautifully. This is definitely not the typical lathe pillars which we have found at various places in Karnataka and in South India. In most of the Karnataka temples, the square section of the pillar has been used as for writing the stone inscriptions. This is a closer view of the head part of the stone column. There was nothing extraordinary about this temple except the roof carvings. The roof carvings were definitely very, very beautiful. Similar carvings we found at Hangal. However, the size of the roof pendants and the floral carvings were much bigger in size. This lot of pillars have been changed by probably by ASI, and the wall panels have also been changed. So this temple now presents a good look. However, the inner walls have been painted with lime, and hence it has lost its beauty. This was a small video of an unknown temple in the state of Karnataka. You may like to come someday here, visit it. This area was under the rule of the Kadambas of Goa and have many temples. There are in fact a lot of areas. Halsi in particular is nearby. There are 4-5 temples there, and this particular area, Degulhalli as well as Belgaum, have 2 other beautiful temples. Well, that's all for today. If you've liked the video, you may like to share it with your friends and colleagues and loved ones. Thank you.